Most people think getting rich is about making more money. They are wrong. Money is not the problem. Income is not the problem. Even opportunity is not the problem. This is a physics problem. It is about force. It is about resistance. It is about velocity. And most of you are stuck in what I call the invisible gravity system. You cannot see it. You cannot touch it. But it controls your entire financial life. It pulls you down every single day. It keeps you in the same place. It makes progress feel impossible. You earn more, but you do not move. You try harder, but nothing changes. It is a trap. It is a loop. It is a system. Now listen carefully. This is not about how much you earn. This is about how much force you can escape. Because wealth, real wealth, only begins when you reach escape velocity. Until then, you are just spinning in place. I have seen this pattern for decades. I have watched smart people stay broke. I have watched average people become incredibly wealthy. The difference is not intelligence. The difference is not luck. The difference is hidden habits, quiet habits, invisible habits, habits nobody talks about. In this video, I will show you 7 habits that quietly break gravity, 7 habits that move you from force to freedom, 7 habits that change your trajectory forever. But before we get there, you need to understand the enemy, because if you do not see the system, you will never escape it. Let me tell you something most people will never say out loud. The system you live in was not designed to make you rich. It was designed to keep you predictable. You are not stupid. The system is, from the moment you enter school. You are trained for stability, not freedom, for obedience, not ownership. You are taught to follow instructions, hit deadlines, memorize answers. But nobody teaches you how money actually works. Nobody teaches you how wealth compounds. Nobody teaches you how to escape. Why? Because the system does not reward escape, it rewards participation. Think about the tax code. Employees pay first, owners pay last. This is not an accident. This is design. As my partner Charlie Munger once said, show me the incentive and I will show you the outcome. The incentives are clear. Stay employed, stay consuming, stay. Inside the loop, it is a machine. It needs workers. It needs spenders. It needs people who never question the structure. And here is the dangerous part. The system does not feel like a prison. It feels like comfort. You get a salary, you get weekends, you get small rewards. Your brain says, this is safe, but safety is not freedom. This is not security. This is controlled dependency. I call this the golden cage. It looks beautiful. It feels stable, but it limits your movement. You can move left, you can move right, but you cannot escape upward. And just like gravity, the longer you stay, the stronger it feels. Years turn into decades. Effort turns into exhaustion. Dreams turn into compromise. You work harder, but the cage tightens. You earn more, but your expenses rise. It is a loop. It is a system. It is designed that way. And if you do not understand this, you will blame yourself. You will think you are not doing enough. You will think you are the problem. You are not. You are responding exactly how the system trained you to respond. But here is the truth. Once you see the system, it loses its power. And once you understand the mechanics, you can start building your escape. But to do that, you must understand what is happening inside your own mind. Because the real trap is not outside, it is inside your biology. Now we go deeper, because the real prison is not the system. It is your biology reacting to the system. Most people think they are making rational decisions with money. They are wrong. You are not operating on logic. You are operating on chemicals, dopamine, cortisol. These two control more of your financial life than you realize. Dopamine is the reward chemical. It pushes you to seek pleasure. Immediate pleasure. Cortisol is the stress hormone. It pushes you to escape pain, immediate pain, and when you combine both, you get what I call the survival spending loop. It works like this. You wake up stressed, bills, deadlines, pressure, your cortisol rises. Your brain does not want long-term wealth. It wants short-term relief. So it whispers something very dangerous. Just buy it. You deserve it. That is dopamine stepping in. Now let me show you a real situation you have lived through. Your car breaks down, unexpected expense, $500. Your savings are low, your stress spikes. Now your brain goes into survival mode. You are not thinking about investing. You are not thinking about compounding. Your cognitive bandwidth drops. Studies have shown that financial stress can reduce effective IQ by up to 13 points. That is not stupidity. That is biology under pressure. So what do most people do? They seek relief, order food, buy something small. Scroll endlessly. Tiny dopamine hits. It feels harmless, but it is not. It reinforces the loop. Stress, spend, relief, repeat. It is a trap. It is a loop. It is a system. And here is the worst part. The more you stay in this loop, the less capacity you have to escape it, because stress shrinks your thinking. It kills long-term vision. It destroys patience. So when someone tells you, just save more, just invest, they are missing the point. You are not failing because you lack discipline. You are reacting exactly how your brain is wired to react under pressure. But here is the shift. Wealth is not built by fighting your biology. It is built by designing around it. You must reduce the stress triggers. You must control the dopamine leaks, because if you do not, no strategy will save you. And once you understand this, you start to see something powerful. The problem was never effort. The problem was direction. And that brings us to the cold truth. The math does not lie. Now let us remove emotion for a moment and look at the numbers, because numbers do not lie. But most people never look at them the right way. Most people think wealth is built linearly. Work more, earn more, save more. They are wrong. Wealth is exponential, or it is nothing. Let me show you. Two people, same starting point, both earn $1,000 per month extra. Person A spends it. Maybe small upgrades, better phone, better lifestyle. Person B invests it. Simple index fund, 10% annually. Now watch closely, after 1 year. The difference is small. Person A enjoyed life. Person B has around $12,600. Nothing impressive after 5 years. It starts to change. Person A has memories. Person B has around $77,000. Now it gets interesting, after 10 years. Person A needs to keep working. Person B crosses $200,000. Same income, same effort, different result. Why? Because one followed linear rewards, the other unlocked compound velocity. I call this the exponential gap. It starts invisible, then it becomes unstoppable. Now here is where most people fail. They quit too early, because in the beginning, compounding feels slow, it feels boring, it feels pointless. Your brain says, this is not working, but that is the illusion. The first phase is silent, the second phase is explosive, like a rocket, for a long time. It burns fuel on the ground, no movement, just effort. And then suddenly, it lifts, that is escape velocity, and most people quit before liftoff. They stay stuck in linear mode, trading time for money, year after year. It is a trap, it is a loop, it is a system. But this is only half the story. Because even when people understand the math, they still do not act, and that is where the real battle begins, inside your identity. Now we arrive at the real battlefield. Not money, not math, identity. Most people think poor financial decisions come from lack of knowledge. They are wrong. They come from emotional addiction. I call this the salary dopamine trap. It is subtle, it is powerful, and it keeps even smart people stuck for decades. Here is how it works. You get paid, you feel relief, dopamine spike. Your brain says, you are safe again. But notice something, that feeling does not come from wealth, it comes from income. This is not freedom, this is dependency. You are not building assets, you are feeding a cycle, month after month. Now listen carefully to your own thoughts, because you have heard this voice before. Your brain says, just this. Once, I worked hard. I deserve this. I will save next month. That is not you, that is the loop speaking. It wants comfort, it wants now, it does not care about your future. And here is the uncomfortable truth. The system rewards this behavior. Spend more, upgrade more, stay in motion, because a calm, patient investor is dangerous to the system. They do not consume, they do not panic, they do not react, they compound. And that is why the trap is so effective. It does not feel like a trap, it feels like life. You go out with friends, you upgrade your lifestyle, you reward yourself. Nothing seems wrong, but slowly, quietly, your financial position does not change. Years pass, effort stays high, freedom stays low. It is a trap, it is a loop, it is a system. Now I want to ask you something directly. Do you believe you are worthy of long-term wealth? Not a salary, not comfort, but true financial freedom. Because if deep down, you see yourself as someone who gets by, you will sabotage every opportunity to grow. You will return to what feels familiar, that is identity gravity, and until you break it, no strategy will work. But the moment you shift this, everything changes, because there is a point, a very specific point, where the loop breaks, where effort starts working for you, instead of against you, where money stops being fragile and starts becoming a system. That moment is closer than you think. There is a moment in every wealth journey where everything changes. It is not loud, it is not dramatic, but it is decisive. Most people miss it because they are looking for a big break, a lucky event, a sudden jump. They are wrong. This is not luck, this is physics. I call this moment financial escape velocity. It is the point where your assets start growing faster than your effort. Read that again. Your money begins to work harder than you do. Until this point, everything feels heavy. You invest, you save, you sacrifice, but progress feels slow. It feels like pushing a rock uphill. That is normal, because you are still fighting gravity. But then, something shifts. Your investments start generating returns. Those returns start generating more returns. And suddenly, the system flips. Now you are not pushing, you are rolling. This is the snowball effect. At first, It is small, fragile, easy to ignore, but with time, it compounds, it grows, it accelerates, it becomes unstoppable. This is why patience is not optional, it is required. As Albert Einstein said, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Most people never experience this wonder, not because it is rare, but because they quit too early. They stop at year 2, they stop at year 3, right before the curve bends, right before the explosion. Let me make this clear, once you cross this line, everything is different. Stress decreases, options increase, time expands, you are no longer dependent on a paycheck, you are no longer reacting to life, you are designing it. This is freedom, not flashy wealth, not luxury, control. But here is the key. Escape velocity is not an event, it is a threshold, and thresholds require consistency. Small actions, repeated daily, over long periods. That is how you break gravity, that is how you escape the loop, and now, you are ready for the most important part. The blueprint, because knowing is not enough, you must act. Now we make this practical, because knowledge without action is just entertainment. You do not need a new job, you do not need more income, you need a new system. I will give you 3 steps, simple, precise, non-negotiable. Step 1, the automatic soldier system. Set up an automatic investment every month, no decisions, even if it is $100, even if it feels small. Why? Because decision-making is fragile. Automation is bulletproof. You remove emotion, you remove excuses, you create consistency. Your money becomes a soldier, working for you. Every single month, step to the lifestyle freeze protocol when your income increases. Your lifestyle does not. Most people upgrade immediately. New phone, better car, bigger expenses. That is the trap. Instead, freeze your lifestyle, redirect the increase into investments. Why? Because this is how you create acceleration. You increase input without increasing resistance. That is how you build velocity. Step 3, the ownership shift rule. Start thinking like an owner, not an employee. Even if you keep your job, buy assets, learn about businesses, understand cash flow. Why? Because employees earn linear income, owners build exponential systems. This is not about quitting your job. This is about upgrading your mindset. Now listen carefully. There are also things you must never do. I call this the death list. Never increase expenses with temporary income. Never interrupt compounding for short-term pleasure. Never depend on a single income source. Break these, and you reset the game. It is a trap, it is a loop, it is a system. But if you follow the steps, you start to break it. Slowly at first, then suddenly. And remember this, you do not need to be perfect. You need to be consistent, because consistency beats intensity every single time. Now, let us finish this, because the final shift is who you become. Imagine yourself 10 years from now, not older, not tired, but free. You wake up without pressure, no urgency, no financial noise in your head. Your time belongs to you. Your decisions are yours. Your life is designed, not dictated. Now ask yourself, what changed? It was not luck, it was not talent, it was habits, quiet habits, invisible habits, the ones nobody talks about. In part 1. You saw the truth. This was never about money. It was about the invisible gravity system. In part 2. You understood the design. The system was not broken. It was built this way. In part 3. You saw the biology. Dopamine and cortisol were controlling your decisions. In part 4. You faced the math. Linear effort keeps you stuck. Exponential thinking sets you free. In part 5. You confronted the identity. The salary dopamine trap was keeping you dependent. In part 6. You discovered the shift. Financial escape velocity changes everything. In part 7. You got the blueprint. Simple steps, consistent action, real change. Now this is the final truth. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not incapable. You were simply inside a system you did not see, but now you see it. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. So the question is no longer, can you do this? The real question is, will you? Because freedom is not given, it is built quietly, daily, relentlessly. And the moment you commit, the moment you start, you are no longer trapped, you are in motion, you are building velocity, you are becoming someone different, not a consumer, not a follower, an owner, a builder, a free mind. The door to the cage is open, it has always been open. That is all. Thanks for watching.